Physical and psychological injury overlap in a range of areas. I mean, from chronic pain, so someone who's suffered a spinal injury or a neck injury, who consequently develops, a chronic experience of pain. If that overlaps with, let's say, some anxiety surrounding that pain, some somatization, which is focusing too much on the pain and possibly amplifying that through spending a lot of time ruminating about it, then they overlap there. That's one way in which it can overlap through pain. Another way is through, for example, if you suffer some type of visible disfigurement as a result of an accident. Let's say you're a good-looking young guy and you have a scar on your face for the rest of your life, or a young woman who has a scar on the face for the rest of their life. They're going to suffer a loss of self-esteem. They're going to possibly function differently when they're out in public, have a bit of anxiety, or they might develop depressive symptoms because of their lower self-esteem, and they might interact with relationship partners differently because they fear they've lost attractiveness. I mean, there's a whole range of ways in which physical and psychological injury can overlap, but the legislation which is being proposed also excludes psychological injury that comes as a result of a physical injury from being compensable. So people who experience psychological problems as a result of an injury, motor vehicle accident or a workplace injury, will no longer receive money or have that suffering or psychological condition taken into account as part of the process. I think that's one of the biggest paradoxes of this whole legislation change. The guides that they're intending to use, which is the AMA guides, number 5, specifically state at the start of the chapter that trying to assign percentages to psychological disorders is ridiculous, and it's impractical, and it's trying to generalise something and categorise something which is by its complex nature uncategorisable. And so yes, I think that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to simplify something that is so complex and needs to be taken case by case. But if these changes go ahead at the level that they're proposing, then I think a lot of the individuality of cases will be overlooked and ignored, which is scary.